me. I'm sorry. I'm giving you half my attention here. I'm trying to finish. I've been running all over today, and I've not had a chance to actually finish my job I actually get paid for that I need to do real quick.
It's not like you're busy.
I'm super close to being done. And yes, dude, how's business for you? Is business super slow? Or are you guys just busy as all get out?
We're busy, but it's because we're building on a new system.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's keeping us... I mean, and everything has rebounded from the pandemic, so I think they...
See, the government's doing a really good job in my industry trying to not let anything rebound on purpose. So it's good. I'm knocking on wood every day. I'm blessed to have a job every day. I thank the Lord a lot for that. I know many others in my industry now. It's not the same. They're not shared to have that blessing. But
I am so glad to be out of that industry too.
Yeah. Well, it's not just this industry. There's plenty of industries that are feeling the pain right now. So,
but it's. I've talked to Aaron about this, like the difference between being in the technology side of a bank versus a technology side of a travel company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Something's not ready to go for this release. Oh, we'll just push it to next month instead of we're going to stay up until all hours of the night.
It's because but there's a reason for it. It's not like they do it just for reasons like people are like, oh, they're just greedy. No, it's because the government says you have to do it. And if they don't do it, then they'll shut your business down.
Yeah.
or they'll fine you out of the ass.
Yeah. We don't.
So there's reasons. There's never not a reason for it.
We don't have the banking regulations that require certain things to go in at a certain time. So
correct.
It's just refreshing.
Yeah, it is. And to be honest with you, it's super refreshing to be working for this company that I work for now because of how small it is. It's just, I blew people away. Are you recording any of this? Because that might be interesting. I don't know. We'll tell.
I am recording it actually.
Okay. Well, maybe if it's dumb, you can cut it out. I don't care.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because I got hired during the pandemic. September. I remember the exact date. It was September 14th because it was the Monday after September 11th.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty easy to remember when I got hired on. It was 2020, and I went in for 2 weeks to get trained. Which maybe I've told the story to you before. I don't know, but and it's a department of 8 people. And then when I got hired, it was 9 when I got hired, but one person they retired like that week. Like I showed up, met them, they retired. And it wasn't the same day, but it was like they were out like right away after that. And so we're a really small department of 8 people. And I went in for a meeting because my laptop was having issues, and I had to have them update the BIOS. And I'm not messing with company property. I know. I mean, it's not like it's hard to do or anything like that. But yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let you guys take care of that. They had to erase some software, put some software back on, all this kind of jazz. So, mind you, September of 2020, and it's now March of 2023, and I just met my coworkers for the first time.
Yeah.
So it's when you work for such a small company. Well, it's not a small company anymore, but small department that I work in.
Right.
So I just thought it was pretty interesting meeting these people for the first time. Like they know my voice, and I've talked to them on the phone, stuff like that. But it's just a whole different world where you don't meet your coworkers for almost what 2.5 years, pretty close to it. So
and it's funny because I would have been in the same situation, but so. I was a contractor and I got hired on full time, and my first day was March 15th, 2020.
Okay. See, it's easy to remember. I guess pandemic made it real easy to remember this stuff, huh?
Yeah, because that was the first day they said everyone's working from home.
Yeah.
And by the end of the week, they had laid off all the contractors. So I really got lucky when I got in. So
are you hybrid? Are you full time from home? What do you do as far as office time? Any of that, or you don't have to worry about that?
I don't have to worry about it. I go in whenever I want.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice you have that flexibility, especially with kids.
Yeah,
and my employer, or at least my boss, he's super sensitive to that because I'm learning more about my coworkers now, obviously. But they've aged out as far as their kids. Their kids are all in their 20s, 30s. If not, but some might even have grandchildren. I think a few have grandchildren. I mean, hell, my favorite guy I've met is 74 years old. He's awesome. This dude is old school. He's so cool. I love this guy. Oh man, I told my other coworker that I came over with. I told her this guy's gonna be my best friend. I'm telling you right now. out of all the group we're working with, that's my boy right there.
Yeah.
I might have to nickname him Blue. I'm not sure. Just so I can call him my boy. My boy Blue. My boy. He's super cool, super kind, really kind guy.
Yeah.
And just one of those guys that's lived life. Doesn't let much get to him anymore because, like, you know how stressful your former industry could be.
Yeah.
No, not for this guy. This guy doesn't let any of that get to him at all. He's been there, done that. He's not down for that any longer.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can go ahead and run around like, chickens with your heads cut off. My head's staying right where it's at. So yeah, that was good meeting them. That was an exciting thing that happened this week. So, yeah, no, it's just one of those weird, funky things where. Oh, no. Speaking of all that, it's funny. I listened to the Ramsey Show on YouTube, and I watch clips, tons and tons of clips of all these different stories. And speaking of working from home or being remote or being hybrid between, some days in, some days out.
Yeah.
I wish I remember the name of the company. I've been trying to find the clip, and I just haven't had any luck doing so. But they've run into a situation where this company was going, hey, we're going to go hybrid. We want everyone coming in 3 days, and then you can work from home 2 days. However you want to make that work, make it work. Lo and behold, they find out. They tell one of the employees, hey, when can we see you on Monday? Because they're expecting them to come in on Monday. And the employee goes, yeah, about that. I don't live there anymore. And they're like, what? He goes, yeah, I moved to Florida. Didn't even tell their employer that they moved out of the state. They just moved wherever they want.
That is crazy.
And so, yeah, there's multiple cases where they're like finding, articles online where it's a trend. It's not like this is just a one-off or this just happened to one person. There are plenty of people that just uprooted and they just left and they didn't tell anybody because they're remote because of the pandemic. Why does it matter where you work from? As long as you're logged into your business hours, it shouldn't matter at all. But it's coming to bite them back real bad. So the dude got fired. Definitely got fired. He couldn't work there anymore because he couldn't come in the office. And then the other thing was that brought up a different story. This was a city story, and I don't mind saying it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the person. I don't know anything about it other than I was told. This is a secondhand story.
Okay.
Where they were working remotely from home, but at the same time they were operating a daycare.
Really?
They operated a daycare at the same exact time as being an employee. And I was like, the ball's on some people, man. How could you even think you could pull that off? That's insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's super nuts. I couldn't even imagine trying to do that. Because I've heard stories during the pandemic where people are trying to work 2 full-time jobs being remote.
Right.
Trying to swim that. So that I had heard of, but I just thought it was interesting where we're going to be running into that now, where people are losing their jobs because they moved and didn't tell their employer that they did it. Couldn't believe it.
So on the project I'm working on, there are 2 people that were in St. Louis that moved to Florida too, but they let the company know. So,
you mean they did the right thing?
Yeah.
And if the employer had a problem with that, hopefully they sorted that out before they made that move.
So I have a friend, too, that works remote just about full-time. He might be back in the office a little bit, but during the pandemic, him and his wife traveled. Yeah. They would just, hey, we're going to spend 2 weeks in Florida. We worked the whole time. But
we're supposed to be on lockdown, flattening the curve. They were out there not flattening it at all.
I mean,
I don't give a shit. It's so stupid.
I mean, most of the time they were locked in working anyway, and then go on at night and be outside.
Yeah, I guess. It's whatever. It's so silly. What a country we lived in. But anyway, hey, I just hit the button. I think I'm good to go now. Plus, we're on a condensed time frame here, but that's okay because we don't have a big docket to go over this evening. I don't think you said pretty much just homework, but can I leave? I do have something for us to do.
Okay, here first, one of the local grocery stores out near me.
Okay.
OJ Run.
Dun dun dun. Nice. How many of those did you pick up?
I only picked up a 4-pack.
Okay. Well, I would hope. Let's do this. Let's tag. Let's tag Narrow Gauge. Let's tag him in our episode here. Maybe we'll get some social media love from him.
I will.
Okay. And then another thing I wanted to do that we didn't really do last week. Mm-hmm. I want to tag this too because I have a story for this week. Or not even a story, but just something I thought we should do is we should try to shout out our local comic book people that we go and get comics from every now and then. And give them some love. Just because, I got to give some love to the brick and mortar people because I I went and picked up the first 2 issues of Nemesis so that you and I could. I haven't read it yet. I don't know if you'd had dove into it or not yet because I don't know if you did your reread of the first one and then jumped right into it or not.
I knocked down all 6 issues like in an afternoon.
Nice. Okay, so I remember them being quick reads, and everything Millar does is pretty much a quick read, to be honest with you.
So this was one of the things I had down too. There's a lot of complaints about Millar's work because everyone feels like he writes for Hollywood now.
Yeah.
Everything is a 4 to 6 issue miniseries that's set up to be a property in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I don't mind it at all. I love these quick hitters. I love stories that are contained. They're quick to get through. He lets the artist tell a lot of the story for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't overdo it. Like we always seem to. I seem to be shitting on him a lot, and he's not. He actually was one of the best writers back in the day, to be honest with you. It got me into comics. But Bendis is just so much exposition through word.
Yeah.
He uses so much just word in all his works.
Yep.
And it's just like, dude, let the artist tell some of the story for you so that it's captivating and moves the story along a little bit better, has a better flow to it.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to read a whole diatribe all the time about everything.
So my thing is, he's the Michael Bay of comic books.
Is that what you really? I don't know if I call him that though, dude. Really? You think so?
It's over the top.
There's sustenance there. There's no sustenance to anything that Michael Bay does. There's not. There's really not. I think Millar has sustenance to some of his work, to be honest.
Maybe a little bit more, but I mean, he's always making the spectacle each book.
Yeah.
And they're quick reads.
What about Huck? Did you ever read Huck?
No, I never read Huck.
Huck's not that type of book. It really isn't. And then even what you'll say what you will about Kick-Ass, there's some pretty deep stuff there about a father-daughter relationship there too. I mean, maybe a little bit of a stretch, but I think it's a beautiful relationship. But it's also a dive into wanting to figure out who you are as a teenager, stuff like that. I mean, you could pull those trends or themes from his work, but he's just not empty is what I want to mean by that.
Yeah, and not all Michael Bay work is either, but
Yes, it is. What are you talking about? give me something that he's done that has a little bit of that in there.
I don't know. I'd have to go look through his resume.
No, don't even stop it.
But here's the thing. You go to a movie and it's a Michael Bay movie, you know what you're getting. Explosions.
And here's the thing. I like that. I do
too. Because I like my everything everywhere all at once, but I also like those other ones that kind of balance them out, that you can just go and veg out and not have to worry about them. Like, so you're going to be entertained.
You have your everything everywhere all at once on this high end of the spectrum, and on your low end you got Velocipaster that you'll still watch too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which, by the way, we still need to see if we can figure out if either one of us is going to go see Cocaine Bear. I kind of really still want to go see that, to be honest with you.
I really do too. Aaron kind of shot it down for a family thing, but I think based off what I've read, I'll be able to talk her into it.
Ah, nice. I'm hearing good things. I'm hearing this just go for the fun ride. That's all it is a good fun ride.
Oh, yeah. All right, I got Michael Bay pulled up.
Oh, good Lord. No, we're going to go do a deep dive on Michael Bay.
We'll do this real quick.
This is not my intention of this podcast. Oh, no.
He started music videos.
That makes sense to me. That doesn't shock me at all.
Like, I'm trying to find a big one. I mean, he's got, like, the Neville Brothers and Chicago and Donny Osmond and Styx. He did a Vanilla Ice one. I don't know the song.
Nice. Look at him.
Oh, he did play that funky music.
Nice.
All right, let's see. Music videos. He did all kinds of them. He did Meatloaf.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So we're into movies, it looks like. The first big one was Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. There's nothing there with Bad Boys. There's nothing. You can't. Okay, maybe it's a buddy cop movie. So no, there's nothing there on that. Pull from it. No.
The Rock.
The Rock is incredible, but there's really not anything to pull from that.
Yeah. So Armageddon, you get a little of a father-daughter relationship there.
You're stretching, but okay. I get it. Yes, there's that.
And then Pearl Harbor. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone goes, ugh.
Yeah.
You just get the heebie-jeebies from that one.
Yeah. Bad Boys 2.
But, okay. Yeah.
The Island.
Island's actually really good. Okay, there's sustenance to the Island. I'll give you one Michael Bay movie with some sustenance to it. That one I'll give to it. Yeah. That one's interesting. Very much so.
And then we get into the first 3 Transformer movies.
Nothing there.
Yeah. Pain and Gain. That was The Rock and Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. Based on a true story. It was entertaining.
I'll give you two. Okay, so far The Island. Didn't he do the one with Krasinski where it's like it's an army movie with the 6 soldiers? Is it 12 soldiers, 6 soldiers, something like that? What's the name of that one?
He did. Okay, so he directed 6 Underground with Ryan Reynolds.
Not that one.
No.
Not that one. That one's. I hated that movie, to be honest with you. I didn't.
13 Hours.
There it is. 13 Hours. That's it. Yes, that one's actually pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah.
So 2 movies out of his whole filmography. A little bit of meat on the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so, but I get what you're saying though. But comparing Mark Millar to him,
I think
okay.
he's. I
get it. I get where you're going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it.
Because I say the same thing about Dan Brown books.
They're enjoyable. I enjoy them. They're fun.
They aren't, but they're not high literature that you're going to get anything out of.
By no means. But there's a reason why Dan Brown books sell the way they do. He makes a great movie about that. So.
And that's why Mark Millar books sell well when he puts a new one out.
Yeah. I really need to catch up on a few of his. I'm sure I got some spots that are empty that I need to fill in from his work.
Yeah, I do too, because I don't know, you haven't read the Reloaded stuff yet, have you?
No, okay. I'm not. Actually, I need to go back through and read the original series just to kind of refresh my memory about everything that occurred in that story.
So, on the inside cover of the first issue, he writes that Nemesis Reloaded is kind of a relaunching of the book.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily ignore everything he previously did, but it's kind of rewriting it because he's setting up a bigger crossover between his properties.
And that's pretty cool. And that's going to force me to go back and reread a lot of his old stuff.
Yeah.
What's a smart business move by him is people are probably going to, I don't even know if I can find that anymore. I'll probably be easier to just download it or something like that.
Yeah.
So you can get it real quick, stuff like that. So smart on his part to get people to rebuy his older stuff so they can be part of the world building.
Well, and since it's all image too, he can probably push them to start reprinting the trades.
There you go. Exactly. So good smart move on his part. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be pretty cool.
And I'm sure Netflix is pushing for it too, because they have all the rights to all his stuff. So eventually when he's going to have this shared universe finally put together, they'll be able to benefit from it.
We'll see, because they didn't give Jupiter's Legacy that much time, to be honest with you. They gave him a season. They were out real quick.
Yeah, rightfully so. It wasn't great.
I didn't watch it. I never gave it a shot. I like the story. I did. I like the comic book. Did not get around, because I'm just like, if Netflix is not going to give it the time to build the whole story, what's the point?
It was really slow, and it focused almost too much on the backstory.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, maybe something new will come out from it. But no, what I wanted to get back to was when we got down that rabbit hole of comparing Millard to Bay, was in regards to shouting up our brick and mortars. I wanted you to ask your guy, because he says Bugs Comics. Ask him if he used to be out here in Florissant.
I know he had another store at one point, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's
that one. Okay. So I remember there was one that's not too far from the brewery, Narrow Gauge, just right down the street from it actually. So I was just curious if that was his old shop. But yeah, you should give him a shout out on the podcast. Bugs, it's still called Bugs Comics.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'll shout out the shop I found. Oh, it's in Old Town Florissant. It's called Endless Comics.
Okay.
Brand new shop, just opened in December. So they're trying to break in, and then they actually opened up down the street. I'm saying 2-3 blocks from another comic shop. That's like 2 comic shops in that close proximity. Let's see how that goes.
Not far from
the other shop has a little bit of everything. It's got toys and stuff. Where this is more of just comic books in this one.
What's the other one? Is the fantasy shop still open over there?
No, fantasy shop closed down up north here, and then the other one is called Just Heroes.
Okay.
So you can tag all of them in there just to go, hey, there's still brick and mortars everywhere, and they've been around the Just Heroes has been around, I think, a lot longer than the Endless Comics, but he's a really super nice guy, super small shop, super small. Not a lot of inventory in regards to back issues, because I don't think they could fit anything in there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think it's just trying to dip his toe into saying, is this a viable business or not? But I asked him, hey, how many pull-and-holds do you guys have? Just to see how the business is doing. He's already got 20, which I guess that's not horrible, right?
No.
For a shop that just opened it up, that's pretty decent, I guess.
Yeah. So I actually picked up the Nemesis stuff at Newcastle Comics.
Yeah.
Your boy from hockey.
My old buddy Falcon.
Yep.
Yeah.
That shop is unreal. How much stuff they have in there.
Well, they're a gamer shop too.
Yes.
Right. They still got a gaming area. Yeah.
And then the other place we go is STL Comics, which is interesting because it's half toys, half comics, and they don't have new books. They just buy collections and resell them.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's a cheaper way to get books, I guess, right? Or to bring in some people that are trying to fill in some stuff. So that's pretty cool.
So we went and got gift cards for the kids' Christmas stockings to there.
Okay.
Because Kaylee wanted Pokemon cards, and Will wanted action figures, and Madeline wanted comics. And Madeline went in and dropped like $40 on top of her $15 gift card because there was a bunch of Batman stuff, and she just grabbed some random books that looked interesting to her. I'm like,
cool. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what gets you in trouble.
Yes, it is.
Sure. But it's just all these cool comic shops around here that are they're still surviving. Everyone's always saying, print's dead. Comic book shops are going to go away. There's still plenty around, to be honest with you. Just thought it'd be cool to give them a shout out and tag them on there and see. It'd be nice to talk to them maybe sometime and have a conversation with the owners. Maybe that's something we need to try to do.
Yeah, I could probably set that up with Bug.
Okay, yeah, that'd be really cool.
So the other thing is,
it's always an interesting lifestyle. It's like, would that be a dream job someday to own a shop like that? I don't know if it'd be a hard way to live because, man, it's not big sales. You're not moving a bunch of product at once, kind of thing.
Right.
You gotta hope Wednesday kind of makes your business survive, and that's a rough way to live.
Or else you find your niche with like STL Comics with the toys and back issues, or there's Apotheosis Comics downtown St. Louis, which is also they do a little bit of gaming and they sell beer there, and then they'll have open mic nights and D&D nights and all kinds of stuff. A lot of events.
That's what you have to do, but you got to be innovative and be out of the box. That's true. You can't just be a shop anymore, to be honest with you, sometimes. I
was pissed when they opened because that was my idea, a beer and comic shop.
Hey, we're not getting any younger. That's all I'm going to say. Whenever you're ready, let's do this. Right. And then we can go into bankruptcy together.
Yes. Well, my buddy Jeremy from PC Bombcast, he owned a comic shop out this way.
Yeah.
And I actually had a pull and hold there before I knew him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then like the second time I went to pick it up, they were locked and never opened again. I still give him trouble about that.
Did he ever share his story with you about the opening and closing of the shop?
Little bits here and there. I actually found it through Toner.
Yeah.
Toner found the shop first because, it was a lot of toys and comics. And they were over closer to our old office in O'Fallon. And then they moved over to Mid Rivers, and that's when I started going there. But yeah, I harassed them about closing on me.
It's just interesting because some places last forever and others just, I told you that one story about Fancy Shop being closed on a Wednesday. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know. Some people just know how to do it. If they just, and I don't know. It's just I'm always fascinated by the industry. It's such a fascinating industry, and then I'm just curious about how some people survive, and I'm also curious about how they don't. It's just one of those things. But all right. But here, before I get into the topic, I have a pre-topic to the topic.
Okay.
At hand here, because my homework's very short. I don't have very much homework to go over with you. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, I saw it.
Okay.
I did go. So we can do the whole spoiler review and give our takes and all that good stuff. So since you saw it first, please, you give me your review of what you thought about it.
I really enjoyed it. Probably, it's hard to compare to the other movies because it was so different. But I really enjoyed it. I didn't think it was that top tier Winter Soldier, Black Panther, but I think it was like the next tier down. It did a lot of setup for what's coming. And my issue has been with a lot of the critics complaining about it. The critics, we wanted, what was his buddy's name? The three guys that ran the company with him. Luis. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't in it, so that really took away from the movie. I'm like, well, it's a different type of movie. It's a lot more. out there than the previous two movies, which seemed a lot more grounded.
It's not grounded at all. Well, the other two are pretty grounded, to be honest with you, for the most part. I know it's Ant-Man, of course, he gets big and gets small. Totally get that. But it was all located in San Francisco. You know what I mean? So this one was not that. And there's a reason why they're not. They didn't need to be. They would have served no purpose in this movie. They had there was no reason for them to be there, except that maybe they want to show a quick clip of them for some reason, but not actually have an integral part to the movie.
I said it would have been fun to have Luis in a post-credit scene explaining what had just happened. That would have nailed it.
That would have been really brilliant. Yeah. Oh man, because some of it was a little confusing. Not gonna lie. And then I agree with you in your review that you gave me, which the part that you and I agree on 1,000% is MODOK was amazing.
Yes, he was.
MODOK was great. He was pretty darn funny.
I was a little disappointed. I had heard that Corey Stroll was playing him, that it was Yellow Jacket being fixed up in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
But he stole the show.
He was great. Yeah. And then I think, like you said, it's a lot of setup because I could see what they're doing with his daughter, with Cassie, maybe taking over the mantle at some point. I liked it. I didn't love it. And I couldn't tell you really why. Like, there's nothing about it that I hated. There's nothing about it I disliked, you know.
Yeah.
It was okay. And as far as performance, I'm hearing a lot of things about maybe it's just not performing very well. Like it's not like it might actually lose money or something like that. I'm like, that can't be possible. Not with a Marvel movie.
No, but Dave brought up the fact that like the biggest second weekend drop off. But what came out last week? Cocaine Bear moved ahead of it. And then really? And then 65 is coming out with
Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Or is that his name?
Yeah. And that's supposed to be a big box office one. And then Creed 3 is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gotten to be, this point of the year is actually decent for movies.
Yeah.
But that's the thing they're pointing out is, well, box office wise, it's got these big drop offs the following weekends. Well, it's like there's a lot of stuff coming out too.
There is. So it's like you said. I think I can't give you much more than what you're saying. It's just a setup movie to set up the next big phase where it's going to be the Kang Dynasty. And
and I think I'm more geeked out for the post credit scenes, seeing those different versions of Kang.
Yep.
Because like my family didn't care a whole lot. They're like, oh, there's a bunch of Kangs. I'm like, no, it's Rama-Tut and Immortus and this Scarlet Centurion. And they're like, who? And so I had to go in and explain all that.
Yeah. And I think if you didn't watch Loki, I wanted to, after the movie was over, I told you, and I was like, we got to go at least rewatch the scenes with Kang from Loki.
Yeah.
Because I think that gives you a lot more backstory and an explanation about where we're going with things.
Yeah, because that was a huge setup for it. And then the second post-credit scene was Loki and Morbius seeing, or Mobius, not Morbius, seeing that version of Kang, who is also from the comic book, and if you go back and watch the show, there's statues of that version of Kang in the TVA.
Yeah. And I'll give you this. I thought, his name is Jonathan Majors, right?
Yes.
That's the guy that played Kang. He's pretty incredible. I thought he was great. Really good job in there.
He's very versatile, and we'll see a bunch of different versions of that same character, and everyone will be like, it's a different actor.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he held his weight just fine in the movie. Paul Rudd was great as always. Yeah. A lot of great humor. The guy that was in the gang, you know, the Desmalchin or whatever how you pronounce his name. He was the voice of the pink blob guy, right?
Yes, he was.
What was the pink blob's name? Do you remember what the name was of that character?
I don't remember what his name was, but
all I know is I came out of that movie and I asked the kids, what was your favorite part? And they're like, Pink Blob. I was like, yeah, mine too. That was great. It was hilarious. It was so great.
I have a hole.
I have holes. So, yeah, no, it was enjoyable. I didn't have anything negative to say. It's just not one of my favorites, you know?
Yeah.
I will say this for Marvel. They haven't had one that's come out where I'm like, damn, that was awesome. That was great, you know, or something that really blew me away. Like, we've had some big strikeouts lately, to be honest with you. Black Panther 2 just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Thor 3 didn't do it for me. this one, it's not like, and I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying I didn't like them, or I say it didn't do it for me. I'm saying it just didn't give me that. I'm amped up. I'm excited about what's coming next.
So, I think my thing is right now, I'm looking at it like phase one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new phase one. So this is the build up to everything, and then, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is probably going to be amazing, but I'm not expecting much from the Marvels. So what I'm thinking is it's all going to be, this whole phase is going to be set up until one point, and then phase 5 is really what's going to like get back to that level.
And they're going to need Guardians to do really well because Marvels comes out after Guardians, correct?
Yes, and it's been pushed back.
Because here's the thing with Marvels. You and I are, of course, we know about it, but the general audience that doesn't watch the TV shows, they're going to be lost, and they're not going to enjoy this thing, I don't think.
Yeah.
I have very, very low expectations for that movie. Because I don't even enjoy the first one that much. I was okay with Ms. Marvel, but it's not my favorite thing. This thing, we're like, you got to go see it because the Marvel movie, you just kind of want to see what happens next, but I could almost pass and be like, okay, Disney Plus this thing. Just because how not excited I am. And I know you'll say you're going to go see because you'll see everything Marvel. But me, I'm just like, it's not like I have Marvel fatigue or anything like that. It's just I don't care about the characters that much.
Yeah. And they're getting to that point, too, where I think people are going to start picking and choosing because they have so much stuff coming out and so many characters. And, I mean, we haven't even gotten into X-Men and Fantastic Four yet.
Because, I mean, if you were to ask my kids, hey, which one would you rather see, the Flash or the Marvels? And they'll go Flash. That was the most, when we saw the trailer for that, that's all they want to do is go see the Flash.
Yeah.
They were so blown away by that. So, I mean, out of all, and even Guardians, they're like, okay, Guardians or Flash. They would rather see that. So
that's going to be more of a toss-up in our house, but yeah, Flash would definitely win over the Marvels.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I'm excited for Kang. I think Kang is a great villain to have as your main villain. They did well with that, and they casted very well. I think they did a great actor, so I'm happy with that. So that my takeaway is MODOK was awesome. Pink Blob was the best part of it because it made me laugh the most.
Yeah,
All Road was fine again. What's her name? Evangeline Lilly, that's her name, right?
Yeah,
Wasp. She was forgettable. Her character is she's almost a throwaway character at this point, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I kind of miss having the ability to see Janet and Hank in their prime.
Yeah.
Because they've been such big parts of the comics over the years.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they'll do something from a TV series standpoint at some point. Kind of go back in time to fill in that gap.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an opportunity for them to do so.
To show him hit her before she goes to the quantum realm.
Duh, just smacked her right in there. But no, my topic I came up with based off of Ant-Man 3, because that's what it is, and I found an article about it was the best and worst threequels, the best and third movie out of a trilogy.
Okay.
So, do you want to do the worst ones first, or do the best ones first?
Well, let's go with the worst ones.
You want to do the worst ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the Future 3.
I think they did it alphabetically, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
What I'm doing here. So, there wasn't ranked. There's no ranking like this is the worst out of all of these.
Okay.
But, first one was Alien 3. And I'm going to have a confession. That's a blind spot for me. I don't think I've ever seen Alien 3.
I don't think I have either, but I think it went straight to Alien Resurrection, and that was pretty bad.
Because wasn't Resurrection with Winona Ryder?
Yes.
And Sigourney. Okay, so I think I saw that one too. I don't know why everyone skipped over 3 and saw Winona Ryder and Alien. But
I saw it because I was in college in our movie theater. Yeah. Like if you showed your student ID, you got to see the movies for free.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Here's the next one on the list, and I do not agree with this. I will fight. I will die on a hill for this one. Batman Forever does not belong on the worst of the when it's the third movie. It does not belong on the worst list.
No, I'm kind of mixed on it.
Out of all these other movies I'm going to go over, this is not in that realm.
Okay,
I'm not saying it's the best movie. I'm not saying it's a great movie, but it's not the worst. It doesn't belong on a worst list.
Yeah,
I just don't believe in that. I just don't.
I think people.
Kilmer was okay, right?
Yeah. No, I didn't mind him at all.
Robin. Yeah. See, so yeah.
I think people look down upon it because Batman and Robin came after it, and it was kind of the beginning of the Schumacher downfall of Batman.
Correct. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I thought Jim Carrey stole the show, and I thought he was great in it. So
I didn't like his version of Riddler though.
Say what?
I didn't like his version of the Riddler, though.
No, but you weren't watching the Riddler. You were watching Jim Carrey in a villain. That's
very
what
much
you were
so.
watching. That, I mean, you could just remove the name Riddler from it. And it's just Jim Carrey being over the top and being hilarious, to be honest with you. But that was back when he was really blowing up, too. He was going through his old Jim Carrey songs, or whatever you want to call it.
And that had Drew Barrymore as one of the side chicks for Two-Face. Of all the people.
I know, right? But hey, if you want it in, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
So this one's gonna be a blind spot for you for sure. And I think I've seen bits and pieces. I've never seen the whole thing through. But Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Never seen any of them.
I can. And that's what's funny. There's a 10th one coming out, and I'm like, when are they gonna let this franchise die? And I guess they're not, because it keeps making money. So, but the funniest part about the trailer, how many times I said family in there? I was like, Jay's gonna tear this thing up.
Oh, I know.
Because how many times it says family in there?
The most I've seen of any of it is I've done the ride at Universal.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they said family like 40 times on the ride.
But my family. It's so ridiculous.
I cannot wait for the memes.
Oh, my gosh. All right, next one up is Godfather 3. And I don't think I've seen Godfather 3. That's why it's from. I've seen 1 and 2. I don't think I've ever watched number 3.
I've seen 1 and 2. I own 3. I've never watched it either.
Really? Okay.
And I think it's because I've just heard how bad it is compared to the other 2. I don't want to ruin it.
I've seen those plenty of times, but yeah, no. Not 3. And then Home Alone 3 is on here. I refuse to watch it because it doesn't have Macaulay Culkin. So why am I going to waste my time with that? So, and this one hurts a little bit. It's not that I like this movie; it just hurts because it has my favorite, one of my favorite, if not my favorite movie involved in it. Jaws 3D is on here. I'm sure I've seen it, but I don't remember it well enough to go, yeah, that thing sucks.
I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it, but I've just what I've heard.
Yeah, I know. It's so sad. What they do to my Jaws. Now, this one, I'm not going to say it's controversial. I think it's on here because people just didn't understand 2 and 3. I think 2 hurts this movie more than anything. Matrix Revolutions, yeah. Because the way Matrix 2 ended, Matrix Reloaded, which that makes me worry about Nemesis Reloaded. I didn't like the name of that title, to be honest with you, because I remember Matrix Reloaded.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly. Was because the architect scene that nobody understood what that guy was saying or doing or any of it. We were all really confused by that scene a lot.
I think the best thing that came out of that scene was Will Ferrell at the MTV Movies Awards just repeating "ergo, ergo."
Oh my god! But yeah, I mean, and the problem is, I think with the 2 Matrix sequels is the fact that the Matrix is, I'll call it a masterpiece.
Yes,
a sci-fi masterpiece. I really will. It changed movies. It added a type of shot to a movie.
The bullet time.
Yeah, the bullet time shot. Sorry. So Matrix Revolutions, I kind of put that there with Batman Forever. I don't want to put it on the worst list. It's not that it's a great movie or anything like that, but it's not. I rewatched it recently when I was doing my rewatch for the 4th one.
Yeah,
it wasn't god awful, but next on the list is Pirates at World's End, and I can't remember if I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean 2 or 3, to be honest. I think there's even a 4th one, isn't there?
Yeah, there was a 4th one. I've seen the first 2. Never went back to watch them.
I enjoyed the first one enough.
I did too.
It wasn't a franchise I was really into.
The second one was okay too.
Okay. And see, so I can't really judge this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, the next one on here is Psycho 3. I didn't even know there was a Psycho 3, to be honest with you.
They were non-Hitchcock films, though. Oh, really? I think it was just the studio cashing in on the original.
Yeah, and I know the guy that played Norman Bates, what was his name?
I'm drawing a blank on it.
Yeah, but he reprised the role, is what I read on the article. And then this one, I don't even know if I've seen it. I had to have. RoboCop 3. I can't remember that there was a RoboCop 3.
I vaguely remember it. I never saw it, though.
Because I remember RoboCop 2, and I was okay with RoboCop 2. It's not my favorite by any means.
Yeah.
Whatever. This one I do not agree with, so I'm lumping this in with Matrix and Batman Forever.
Okay.
Rocky 3 does not belong on this list. It's got Mr. T in it. Come on, man. Clubber Lane. Come on.
Yeah.
But I will argue this is one of the rare movie franchises where the 4th is...
Yeah.
Because, Drago. Come on. Drago deserved his own movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Rocky 3 is on the list. I don't agree with that. I like 3 just fine enough, to be honest with you.
It's been so long since I've watched them. I need to sit down and watch all of them and then the Creed movies.
I need to watch Creed 2 and 3. I've not seen Creed 2 or 3. Oh, plus 3 doesn't come out obviously yet, but I need to see that too. These next 3 are going to be these are right down our alley as far as our podcast goes. Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
With Toby. That's so bad. So bad. It's awful. This is really, really bad.
If Will, my 11-year-old son, says the movie's bad, you know it's bad.
Yeah.
And when he's like all the Venom stuff, he's like, oh, I can't stand it. And then I'm like, that's the guy from Home Economics in that 70s show. And he's like, what?
Yeah, Foreman. Yeah. He was not the right casting for that role.
Miscasted there. And then the Strut Down the Street by Peter Parker.
Yeah, that's awful. It's cringy. It's Michael Scott level cringe.
Very. Yeah, but at least with Michael Scott, you can expect that from him.
I don't know anybody that likes this movie. I've never heard somebody say they like it. It's not. I don't think it's redeemable, to be honest with you.
No, I mean,
it's just not a redeemable movie.
You can probably ask Sam Raimi, and he doesn't like it either.
Yeah,
he wasn't happy though because they pushed Venom into the movie. The studio did.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to a 4th just to see where that. I'd like to see that universe again. Just better. You know?
I think that's more realistic right now too, as opposed to 15, 20 years ago.
I prefer a Garfield 3rd movie over a 4th one of this one, though. That'd get my vote. I'm just a big Garfield. I enjoy the Amazing Spider-Man more than I probably should. I think if your one goal in life was to change my mind on saying how bad the Garfield ones are, I don't think you're going to succeed at that, to be honest with you. Because I love the first one a lot.
Yeah,
I really, really, really have a special place.
The problems with the second one weren't his fault.
Yeah. No, I don't think. I think he's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
He's great.
I send Madeline memes every morning, and this one was one of my favorites. It was Andrew Garfield playing cricket, and someone's like, above the picture says, "Is there anything he can't do?" And then the next person replied, "Save Gwen."
No,
she's like,
so mean.
She goes,
so mean.
Dad, how could you send that to me?
Oh man, that's sad. I'm sad. But here we go. Next one, Superman 3. I'm not going to say too much about it. It's a garbage movie.
Yeah,
that's bad. But this one, I love when you do this. One of my favorite things is to mention a movie that you really don't like, and then just let you rip on it a little bit. So here we go. This one's in the chamber. You've made your feelings well known about this one. This is the last one on the list. It is X-Men: Last Stand.
Garbage, and somehow they made a movie of the same story and made it worse.
I know. It's so bad. I don't know what they're doing. Fox, you suck.
I'm like, I want Marvel to do Dark Phoenix correctly.
I know.
But at the same time, I don't want to see it again.
No, we've seen enough. We've seen it enough. I just know how much you despise X-Men Last Stand. You really hate that movie.
It was so bad.
You hold a special place in the darkness of your heart for that movie with how much hatred you have for it.
And like, my kids have seen it, and they're like, oh, I liked it. I'm like, no! They butchered so many characters in it.
Yeah, it's not the best.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah, I know, right? There's worse movies that have been made.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen worse things. So when you do that kind of comparison, and if you're a 10 to 15-year-old kid, that's not bad for them, right? So,
yeah. I mean, we look fondly on the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movies, so...
I love that movie. How dare you besmirch that name of that movie? How dare you? Don't even start. I love that movie so much. You know that.
I guarantee there was a 30-year-old when that came out saying, well, he doesn't have the skull, and...
Oh, get over it.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah.
But, okay, so let's go over to the best list.
Okay.
Because there's going to be someone here that you're...
I will say right off the bat, I'm surprised Back to the Future 3 wasn't on the bad list. Because of all of the trilogies out there, that's got to be one of the weakest third movies there is.
Well, here let's go down the list.
Okay.
Here we go.
It's on the good list. Damn it.
Let's go down the list. Alphabetical again. Because this list was pissing me off.
Yeah.
They did do the best. On the article is best first, worst last. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize at the time it was going alphabetical. I had to write this whole thing out to go, oh, now I see what they were doing. Because the fact that there's one movie that wasn't at the very top of this, I'll start to get mad.
Yeah.
And it took a long time to get to it, but you probably know what I'm getting at there. So anyway, number one on the list was Army of Darkness.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Okay, so, but that's right up your alley. And again, blind spot for me. That's not my thing. Evil Dead's not my thing.
Okay.
So.
But the thing about Army of Darkness versus the two Evil Dead movies, Evil Dead 1 and 2 were essentially the same story, and they were both horror movies.
Yeah.
Army of Darkness turned into like a action comedy set in medieval times.
So if you watched Army of Darkness, do you need to watch Evil Dead to kind of get a better understanding, or can you just kind of start fresh with Army of Darkness?
You could probably just go into Army of Darkness just knowing that Ash found the Book of the Dead, his hand got possessed, and he cut it off and replaced it with a chainsaw.
I know, that's so cool. So, but anyway, that's number one on the list, and the next one is Back to the Future Part 3, which I didn't realize you're not a fan of Back to the Future Part 3 because I love it, but I'm a Western guy, right? So I like Westerns, so it was just fine for me. I know it's not the best of the three, right? But I still like it a lot.
So after The Dark Knight Returns came out, I posted something on Facebook about best trilogies, and people started bringing up Back to the Future. And I went back and rewatched them, and just 3 didn't hold up. I remember at the time, as a kid, I really loved it, but as opposed to what you saw in 1 and 2, it was a really weak movie.
Yeah, I guess. I like it. I don't need to spend a lot of time defending it. It's just because I can understand why people don't like it. I totally get that. So, yeah, it's a little different. But here you go. Next one on the list is Bourne Ultimatum. It's a good one. That's a good trilogy. But here's the problem. It's no longer a trilogy because then you throw in the Jeremy Renner 4th one, and then they went back to Matt Damon for a 5th one. So it's the third in the series, I guess. But it's a good one. I like it a lot. It's not. I think the first one still stands out as the best out of all of them.
I enjoy all of them. I mean, I can understand why you don't like the Renner one. Mm-hmm. I think I was more upset they went back to Matt Damon for 5 instead of building on what Renner did.
I still haven't seen it. I need to watch the 5th one.
So this was the time when he got Hawkeye, and they're like, we're going to give him Bourne, and we're going to give him Mission Impossible.
They were really trying to make Renner happen really hard.
They did, and then, he's still Hawkeye, and those other movies didn't go anywhere.
Now, mind you, I still really liked him in Mission Impossible, but he wasn't the main focal point.
Right, but it seemed like they were transitioning him into it, and then maybe Tom Cruise, like, no, I'm going to keep hanging from planes.
Tom Cruise drank the blood of a fetus of some kind, and decided not to age any longer, so he could still do all those movies.
The cult of Paul Rudd.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. So with him being out in Ant-Man, there's the meme going around of Wilford Bradley is the same age as him when he made Cocoon.
Yeah, I know.
And they show the two of them.
I know. Oh my god, it's insane. Next one is Cap Civil War, which we don't need to go over that one.
No.
We both love that movie, so I don't think there's not a lot of good discussion to have there. This one I found interesting because, again, it's not a trilogy, but it's the third in a very, very, very long line of movies, is Goldfinger, James Bond Goldfinger.
Okay.
My favorite Bond movie of all time, to be honest with you.
Probably, yeah. I mean, at least of the old ones. I think the modern version of Bond appeals to me more.
Okay, that's interesting.
I've really liked the Daniel Craig stuff, and I felt like Pierce Brosnan just was James Bond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brosnan was a great Bond, but I remember Daniel Craig getting so much hate, from just the general audience.
Yeah,
but I think he's a great Bond as well. I think Connery is just I just like the aesthetic look of the 70s movies, to be honest with you, the 60s and 70s movies.
Yeah.
They just look cool,
Yeah, but I think when you go back and watch them today, just with the way society has evolved, they're just so dated.
I don't think we're going to go away with a girl named Pussy Galore anymore.
No.
How about that?
No. A lot of vagina.
They'll cancel that name real quick.
Yeah.
The Good, Bad, and Ugly, but that's a Western, so I don't know if you're going to give much love to that one. But I was like, oh yeah, that is a third, and the Fistful of Dollars or whatever one. So
yep.
Harry Potter, I can't. Never read a book, never seen a movie, never played a Lego game, never done anything Harry Potter related ever. So
they're all entertaining. I mean, they get a lot of heat recently because J.K. Rowling is a bigot and people are calling her a Nazi.
But she's a really rich one. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I have no take on Harry Potter at all. So whatever.
You know what?
Then this goes to a movie that we just discussed last week for the next one on the list, which I don't think you're a fan of, from what I understand. But maybe I don't know. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh no, I love Last Crusade.
Did you like? Okay, it just seemed like when we last spoke about it, you didn't have a lot of great things to say. So I kind of got that take from you.
No, because we've been rewatching them. That was the first one I saw in the theaters, and that was my Indiana Jones movie.
Got you. Yeah, no, I think actually, Last Crusade might be the best out of all three of the first trilogy, right?
I think I go back to Raiders of the Lost Ark now.
Mm-hmm.
But back when I first saw it, yeah, that was easily my favorite.
Yeah, I think it still remains my favorite, to be honest.
It didn't scare me as much at that age as the other ones did, but now as an adult, I think I appreciate more of what they did filmmaking-wise.
Yeah, for sure. I can't believe this made the list. This one I find controversial is the wrong word, but I just surprising. How about that? Iron Man 3 is on the best list.
That's lower end of my Marvel movies.
Okay. I enjoy the or not even relationship, but the interaction between him and the kid. I thought that was really charming.
Yes.
I'm saying Mandalorian. Jesus, not the man. Sorry, what?
The Mandarin.
Mandarin.
Yes.
I'm saying Mandalorian. Because Mandalorian. Did you? I'm just gonna ask. Did you watch it yet? Just
no.
Real quick tangent.
No, we're watching it this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, I'll watch it this weekend too. But yeah, Iron Man 3 being on the list is a little surprising to me because of I just 1 is the best, 2 is meh, 3's okay, but I think the next best Iron Man movie is Civil War.
Yeah.
Even though it's a cat movie, I think it's really more of an Iron Man movie. Really,
I think they missed what they could do with Extremis.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so pissed about the Mandarin reveal in that movie. It just killed it for me. Now, it's been redeemed a little bit with Shang-Chi and making Trevor Slattery a bigger part of the MCU. I enjoy that now.
Yeah.
But, man, you took the biggest Iron Man villain. Granted, he is a little bit racist now compared to, like, when they created him and what he was in the 70s.
Sure.
But they made him into a joke. And that really bothered me at the time.
Yeah. The next one on the list is not my favorite of the 3. I love it. I need to actually do a rewatch of all 3 just because it's been a long time. But Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, which won Best Picture. I think it won Best Picture just as a work, all 3 movies in one. All 3 of them couldn't win. I don't think the first 2 didn't win, but I think this was to say, hey, you made an epic adventure. They're incredible. They look incredible. They hold up. Here's your award for doing something that's never been done and no one thought could be done.
Yeah.
And so I like it a lot. It's just that's not my trilogy. It never will be.
Yeah.
It's just because it's not my. It wasn't our age. This is not. I understand why it is some people's trilogy, but they're a little bit younger than us. So
I love those movies. They are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The source material is so difficult to deal with, though.
Yep. It's almost impossible to deal with, to be honest. I can't read those. I can't. The language is too hard to get through.
I've made it through Fellowship, and I've never finished it. I want to go back. I'm going to try it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been working on Book 5 of Game of Thrones for like 2.5 years now.
I've been working on Book 1 of Game of Thrones for I don't know how long. I can't do it, man.
The first 3 books are worth it.
Yeah, I'll eventually have to do it because I'm enjoying, like I said, I'm enjoying the history book, both the one I showed you last time, which is The World of Ice and Fire, and then Blood and Fire, or whatever, Fire and Blood. I'm enjoying those. I'm trying to understand why do I enjoy these 2, which are fake history texts, versus the actual story. I don't know why I'm struggling with it, but I am.
I have both of them. I haven't touched them yet because I'm like, I'm going to finish this one eventually and then go back to them.
Yeah. Next one on the list is Mission Impossible 3. Which is, it's good, but I'm telling you, I'm really enjoying 4 and 5. 5 was incredible.
I saw.
Really
I remember 4 for sure. I don't know if I saw 5.
Rogue Nation was 4th. That was our introduction to Jeremy Renner.
That's the last one I saw.
And then 5 was our introduction. Well, it's not even, I don't want to spoil anything.
That was Henry Cavill. Yeah,
he was it. 5's incredible. I can't wait for you to watch it. So entertaining. So very entertaining.
We'll sit down and watch the whole series before the next one comes out because we'll go to the theater for it.
Yeah, no, and I didn't do the rewatch of 1 through 3 because I'd already seen those, and I just wanted to kind of finish it up.
Yeah.
Next one on the list is Nightmare on Elm Street number 3, Dream Warriors. I don't have much to say about it. I don't particularly enjoy. I've watched all of them, but Nightmare on Elm Street number 1 is by far my favorite, and the other ones are just a little campy, a little bit weird. Just they didn't recapture the magic of the first one.
Yeah. They didn't have Johnny Depp in them either.
Very true. Star Trek 3 Search for Spock. I have never seen it.
I think I saw 4.
That's the one with the whale, though, right?
Yes.
There's a whale, yeah. That's all I remember about 4 is there's a whale in it.
Yes. Other than that, the humpback whale.
Yeah.
A lot of Star Trek is a blind spot for me.
I'm pretty sure I've seen 2. I don't remember 1 very well because I think 2 was the one with the Khan.
Yep, Wrath of Khan.
Wrath of Khan. I guess all the Star Treks are a blind spot for me. Maybe it's something I might need to go try to do a watch of all of them because how much I love Next Generation.
Yeah, I
actually do enjoy the original series, but I enjoyed Next Generation a lot more.
So I've seen 2. I've seen 4. I think I might have seen Generations where they mixed the original and the Next Generation together.
It's pretty cool.
I watched Next Generation, I watched Deep Space Nine, and then I watched the first 2 JJ remakes.
I did too, and I liked those. I thought they were really great.
I did too, but we were in the minority because Star Trek fans hated those.
Yeah, I don't know. But here's where I got mad that I had to read all the way down this list. And I was fuming at this point. I was like, what is this list? What am I reading here? Because it took so long to get to it. But obviously, Star Wars Return of the Jedi makes the best list. As it should. Maybe not your favorite.
Not my favorite, but yeah.
But come on, it's Star Wars. Yeah. It's wonderful.
The original trilogy.
It's part of the original. Exactly. It makes it the original trilogy. So, not too much that we need to say about that.
Because really, at this point,
it's pretty funny how mad I was getting about this list. I'm like, how is this even possible that you did not mention this as the first one on the damn list?
Yeah. I don't know if I would have had it the first one. And it didn't have the Nolan trilogy on there.
Oh, no Dark Knight stuff on here. Nothing. Or as far as Dark Knight Returns, that's not on there. But here, last one on the list is Toy Story 3.
I never saw 4. I'd like to see it at some point. I was weeping by the end of 3.
I cried like a baby with my children next to me.
Oh, yeah.
I cried like nobody's business at Toy Story 3. And at first I was trying to hold it in. I wanted to hold it in just for the sake of the kids. They didn't think there was something wrong with me. I fought that so hard. Then I just let it out, dude. Just let it out. I sobbed. I had snot on my face, dude. And it was in the movie theater. I had snot on my face.
And then on rewatching too.
Oh my! Oh yeah! Rewatching at home, I went in the bathroom and cried in the bathroom. No shame, dude. No shame.
I'll be back, kids. I gotta poop.
It's so sad. I mean, well, if you had to debate which I don't know if this is a blind spot for you or not. Which did you cry harder at? Whether is it Toy Story 3 or Up? Man,
but they hit at different times. So kids don't understand Up. The first 10 minutes of Up are one of the most amazing movies you'll ever see, especially once you're married.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. And here's the rough part about it was Jen did not go. I took my niece and I think at that point only 2 kids were born at that point, and I took them, and I was trying my best to not scare the kids by crying so hard.
But, a younger person can see Toy Story 3 where he gives away the toys, and you realize that's the point where you're growing up. And that just hits hard too. And so my daughters probably won't feel the same way about rewatching it when they're older as Will's going to. Because Will's really into his toys, like I was.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it'll hold up. It'll really hold up. It'll be a whole different generation watching it, trying to figure that out. But that's it for the 2-3 cools list in regards to ranking or judging the best and worst number 3 of a movie franchise. I thought that was pretty interesting. It did bother me that Nolan's trilogy didn't make it on there. I think it's worthy of being on there. Just as a finishing touch to it all. But I get it. A lot of people just don't enjoy as much as I do. So whatever.
On the bad side, they didn't have Blade 3.
I don't hate Blade 3 as much as most people do. I don't hate it. I know it's not good. I fully accept it's not good. But I thought Ryan Reynolds stole the show. He was so entertaining in it. Jessica Biel was a badass in it. Yeah. I like the Blade movies. And so as long as I got a Blade movie, I was okay. There was some decent action in it.
I think over time I've kind of gone down on them just for the fact that we watched Blade 1 over the summer and it didn't hold up for me. Mm-hmm. So I probably now at this point I'm like, well, that one didn't hold up, so probably none of them at this point did.
No, they're not the best movies ever. No. But at the time they were incredible.
Oh yeah,
when the original Blade came out, that was super awesome.
I got blasted on Reddit because someone was talking about Blade, and I said, I don't know. I rewatched it. It didn't hold up. Someone's like, compared to the garbage Marvel's given us now, that's a masterpiece. I'm like,
I'm not going to die on that hill. Go ahead and try to die on that hill, guy. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. No way. Get out of here. But hey, to each their own. Everything's I understand. You could have your opinion even though it's wrong.
Yeah. And I mean, that opening sequence is still one of the best opening sequences of a movie.
Not my favorite of all comic book movies, but number 2 on the list. But okay,
yeah.
So there you go. Do you have a bunch of homework? Because I don't have very much to share as far as homework goes.
I've got a bunch of different areas. Let's start with the stuff that I've missed out on over the years. We went back and watched The Happening.
Why would you put yourself through that?
Erin wanted to watch it, and Kaylee and her boyfriend were sitting here, and they're like, M. Night, okay, we'll watch it. I'm like, no, do we really have to?
What did I do wrong? Why do you hate me?
I'm like, I can spoil it for you now and save us the time. One of the other kids was out, and they need to be picked up, and I'm like, I'm going.
That's hilarious. That's one of those times I would definitely volunteer. Absolutely. Don't make me sit through that crap movie. Ugh.
Yeah.
Crap sandwich right there. Ugh, gross.
And then, so I finally watched The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I have not seen it, and I know there's controversy around it because the guy's a cannibal now or something, apparently.
He's got weird sexual fetishes, but it's not like Trevor Bauer beating up a prostitute.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Yeah. It's bad, but not that bad.
He just bit her a couple times.
But Cavill was in it, so that probably saves us. I've heard it's good.
Yeah, and it's a Guy Ritchie movie, and I think he's got more hits than misses.
Yeah, and I still need to finish his most recent one with McConaughey in it. I haven't finished that one yet.
I've missed out on Rock and Rolla in the last 2, and he's got another one coming out called I think it's the
he also did the King Arthur one too. I think I don't remember if I think I put that one up. I don't really like that one.
Guy Ritchie has one coming out tomorrow called Operation Fortune.
Okay.
What was it? Robin Hood? Is that what you said?
No, King Arthur.
King Arthur.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was like I liked his Sherlock Holmes stuff better.
Okay.
For adaptations.
I like those, but the King Arthur one I turned off.
Yeah. I wasn't crazy about it. We rewatched Talladega Nights with the kids.
No, there you go. That holds up, right?
It does. I was cracking up.
Oh my god!
And then I rewatched Superbad.
Oh, I watched that. I revisit that quite often. I watch that as I watch that and Pineapple Express probably more than I should. I watch those two a lot because I love them. I love those two movies.
Yeah, I mean, that was back in the Judd Apatow heyday.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So so okay. That's a nice rebound from going from The Happening to those to Superbad. I like that. That's a really good rebound.
So then I went to the library and I got The Jerk and I got Edge of Tomorrow for the kids to watch.
Edge of Tomorrow.
That's the Tom
movie.
Cruise Groundhog Day.
Yeah. I like that one a lot. But The Jerk is a blind spot for me. Never
Oh my God, it's one of the greatest comedies ever made.
I know you guys watched it a lot. I know that you and your family watched it quite a bit. I just have never.
Erin's never seen it either, and she's like, "Is it appropriate for the kids?" I'm like, "No nudity in it, so yeah, it's fine." Will it hold up with their sensitive standards of today? Probably
That's
not.
what I'm saying. I think a lot of these kids won't be able to take a joke. It's going to be a big problem.
Because I have Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein sitting upstairs that I want them to watch too.
We tried to get the kids to watch Young Frankenstein. It just didn't hit. It just didn't land with them at all. And I'm like, guys, this is one of the greatest comic masterpieces ever. I love Young Frankenstein so much.
So
it just did not land.
My kids have seen Spaceballs and they've seen Robin Hood Men in Tights and loved them both. And so I'm going to go in stressing this is the same guy. Okay. And this was pretty radical when he made it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
my kids appreciate some of the aspects of film that I do. They're not quite at that level. I'm hoping they get there though.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff I want to show them.
For sure.
All right. So then the more recent stuff, the new Marc Maron stand-up is on HBO Max.
Okay, how was that?
It was pretty funny. I enjoy listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
I like his interviews more than I like his stand-up, I think, though.
Okay.
I've gotten to the point in his podcast where I fast forward to the interview. I don't really listen to what he says.
Oh, okay. I see. I have never listened to one of his podcasts.
His podcasts are really good.
Okay.
If you want one to start with, he did an AEW one.
Really? Because he was on Glow, so him doing that makes sense.
He never watched wrestling before, and so he was doing a Patreon thing where he was getting into something new, and his producer's a big wrestling fan, and so they got Tony Khan, Chris Jericho. And then he talked briefly to Colt Cabana, who he'd met before, MJF and Eddie Kingston.
Oh wow, what an eclectic group right there!
Yeah. Well, and the headlines came from Eddie Kingston because he talked about what a douche MJF is, and you don't know if it's kayfabe or if it's like real hate there, because as soon as it got released. Eddie Kingston's on Twitter like, uh-oh, HR's talking to me. But for as much trouble as I give Chris Jericho for being a wrestler still and hogging spotlight, he was amazing.
Oh yeah, no, his interview, his podcast. I've listened to a couple episodes of his podcast. He does a great podcast.
I could probably have Erin listen to it and she would be sold on wrestling.
No.
And then Tony Khan talked about like the storytelling of it and how he got into wrestling, and I was just blown away. Just like, I mean, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and if I wasn't, I probably would have like, oh, I'm going to watch AEW tonight just to see what this is about. It was awesome.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'll have to check that one out. That sounds really, because only podcast I've been trying to keep up with a little bit is I need to finish the episode, but Hollywood Babylon, I'm still trying to follow that a bit.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of that one right now.
Two Bears, One Cave. I've been listening to that one quite a bit because I couldn't believe it. Bert Kreischer's getting his machine story into a movie. I can't believe that. It's got Mark Hamill in it. I'm like, holy crap!
I cannot wait for that. That's going to be awesome.
That will be pretty cool. So those are the two main podcasts, and I need to try to, like I said, when we last spoke about podcasts, I need to try to get back into how did this get made. I think I'll probably just have to pay for the subscription for that to try to just get those. I got to do it in order because listening to that in order you have to. That's not one I don't think you can really listen out of order because they do reference back to their previous episodes.
A little bit, but I usually jump to the movies I've seen.
Oh really? Yeah. Okay. No, I love any. Just I don't care if I've seen it or not, and I always wish I'd watched the movie before they do it, but getting access to a lot of those movies without paying and buying them.
Yep.
It's hard to do so. It's really difficult to do so. And some you can't find at all.
Yeah. All right, last one I have. I watched A Woman King.
So you did watch Woman King, a.k.a.
The Queen.
What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it. I didn't mind it being slow. I like the historical dramas like that a little bit. The story really sucked me in. Okay.
Maybe I just need to give it better attention. Maybe I wasn't as fully focused as I was. Maybe if I try to revisit it at some point.
Yeah.
It just, again, it didn't pull me in.
It seemed like the real world Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
And that's I think what I liked about it.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And then TV series, I'm 2 episodes behind, but I've been trying to keep up with The Last of Us. It's so good.
Well, okay, let's tackle that real quick because that's on my homework list because I've not watched it yet on purpose though.
Yeah.
I did a replay of the game. I forgot that I played the game, but I didn't forget. I forgot how long ago it had been since I played the first game because it came out originally in 2013.
Yeah.
And I think I've said it on between conversations between you and I about how that's my favorite game ever. It's because it's not just a video game to me. That's a work of art. Probably the best video. It's just the best video game ever made, in my opinion. I don't think it'd be hard to do something better because of the story. And then what's funny is when Jen watches me play every now and then, she just goes, "Is this a video game or do you just watch a story? Like this looks more like a movie than a game." I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, because you're only watching the cutscenes and you're not really playing as many hours as I put into these games.
Right.
These games take quite a long time to play through. So like,
well, yeah, because that's what, like 40 to 60 hours for that first game.
I don't know. No, and see what's funny is when I did my replay of it, since I already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
It felt like the game flew by real fast.
Yeah.
Like super fast play for me. But still still love the story, still love the characters. And then I'm also trying to figure out, is Last of Us, I think it's like 7 episodes in. I don't know how many total it is, but I know that as soon as I show Jen that show, she's going to be sucked in and she's going to want to binge it, the whole thing.
Yep.
Because it's a very bingeable story. It's a very bingeable story. I'm also apprehensive of doing it because of how connected I am to the characters through the video game as far as the voice actors.
Yeah.
That when I see the Game of Thrones girl, what's Bella Ramsey, I think is her name. She doesn't look like Ellie.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't sound like Ellie. I don't know I have to watch to see if her mannerisms are close to what Ellie is. But I got so deep into The Last of Us in regards to I've watched the making of the game stuff where they show the actual actors, the voice actors in the mocap suits.
Yeah.
And seeing them do what they do. And then finding out that I know they couldn't because the voice of Ellie was Ashley Johnson. She was the Maggie Severs. Was it Maggie or what was the baby's name?
Yeah.
That's the claim to fame was being the baby Seaver.
Yeah.
Back on Grown Pains. But I know they could not make her Ellie because of her age. And the story requires her to be a 14-year-old girl. So I get why she wasn't cast in the role. But that's how connected I was when watching the mocap stuff, watching interviews, tons and tons of interviews between her and Troy Baker, who was the voice of Joel.
Yeah.
Where when you see Troy Baker, he doesn't look a damn thing like Joel.
He does not.
His real voice doesn't match with Joel's voice. He changes into a completely different person in voice when he changes into Joel. I have apprehension because of how the connection was made between those two, where if I don't feel the strong connection between those two characters, it's going to be difficult to get through it. But I'm also hoping it's different enough like The Walking Dead, where they use the game as an outline. I bet you they fill in some stuff where the game was the game, where the cutscenes are just it's not a small portion, but I mean, because these are long cutscenes and they're very important cutscenes.
So
it's going to be different enough. I think it's going to be different enough where it's going to be 2 different properties.
Having played the first 30 minutes of it, that first episode is pretty faithful.
Okay. And see,
from what I remember. I mean, it's been a couple years since I played it, so.
And so I've already, and I finished, and again, like I said, I breezed through a replay of that game. Where you put a lot of hours. You can, because if you're a completionist and you want to try to find every little nook and cranny there, it could take a long time to do it. And I did put in a lot of time on that one, but then I switched over to The Last of Us Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
This game they give you so much to do in this game. It's lasting, like you said, maybe a 40, 60-hour game. It's not as bad as like a Final Fantasy or a Skyrim or something like that. That it's just so open world. You could play 100 hours and not even scratch the surface kind of thing.
Yeah.
They've got so much material now where I don't know where they're going to end season 1. I don't know if season 1 is the full first game, or are they going to say season 1 is really a quarter of the game or half of the game or something like that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that.
Because I think I read an article recently where they're trying to turn this into HBO's next big property. They want to make this last a while. Like, I think they're going to make a Last of Us 3 game to give more material for the show to go off of. So, and then they can't. I haven't finished Last of Us 2 yet, but depending how that ends, and I can't even spoil myself because I don't know how it ends. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
Depending on how it ends, I'm so addicted to these characters that are within this universe. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Unless maybe they're going to do a prequel. Now, and also remember, there's a DLC that goes a deep dive into Ellie's character, where if they can pull off this DLC in the show, wow. Yeah. Especially with her being a 14-year-old kid, in which this Bella Ramsey, I think, is she like a 20-year-old playing a 14-year-old? I don't know what her real age is.
Yeah, she's older. 18, 20 range, I think.
Okay. It'll be okay then. It won't, and there's nothing inappropriate by any means in this DLC where it's M for mature or whatever. No.
Yeah.
But it deals with some topics that if they get to it in the show, or if you ever decide to play it, kind of thing, it's again DLCs. It maybe an hour or two. It's not a lot. A DLC is not supposed to be a lot. It's just supposed to be a little extra to the game to fill in like a gap or give you a little bit extra story.
Yeah.
But this little bit of extra story could be a whole season. It could be a whole season of Last of Us, to be honest with you. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful DLC. So I'm apprehensive. I'm excited. I can start it because I know they're not going to touch on anything from Last of Us 2 within this show, because that's going to be, hell, that might be season 3. Who knows? But they got enough material to go on for a long time.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm glad that you're liking it. So where is this ranking so far in your favorite HBO shows of all time, kind of thing? Has it been too soon to say that?
It's probably too soon to say it. I'll probably wait till the end of the first season at least to say.
Okay, but you are enjoying it quite a lot.
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay.
Like I really want to go and knock out the last couple episodes.
Okay.
I think I want to wait and just kind of binge them too.
Okay. No, and I can see it. I get that. I totally get it. And then how about from a horror standpoint? Are they leaning into any of the horror on it?
There's a few parts where I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay, cool.
So
no, what's funny, Jen was watching me play a little bit last night on part 2, and she was like coming in and out of the room, coming in and out. Stopped there to watch the cutscene, turned into gameplay, and all of a sudden the gameplay, jump scare. Scared the shit out of her. She's like, ah! Like, she screamed loud, dude. It got her bad. Like her getting scared by the jump scare scared me more than the jump scare itself. But it was great. This game has it's gotten me a few times on jump scares. My heart wasn't beating hard enough. It was beating hard because it's just an intense part of the game, and all of a sudden they get you with a jump scare. You're like, holy shit, I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. So I know you're not a big gamer, but if there's 1 or 2 games to play plus the DLC, I can't recommend this enough. I cannot. It's so good.
If I sit down and play a game, that'll be the one I'm going to want to knock out.
And I can't believe your kids don't play the Spider-Man games. I thought they would love those Spider-Man games.
We'll beat the first one.
Say what?
We'll beat the first one.
Oh, you did beat the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because those were super fun. Great story.
Yeah.
So
then 2 more shows. Season 3 of Wu-Tang and American Saga. I'm in the middle of it. I can't get enough of that.
Years, yeah, for sure.
And then I started the first couple episodes of Shrinking.
That's the one with Will Ferrell and...
No, that's Jason Segel and Harrison Ford on Apple TV.
Okay, that's the different one. Because Jen was watching the one with Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of that one.
I don't know either. That's another one I want to watch. I haven't gotten to.
I sat down and watched a little bit with her, and it would make me so uncomfortable in some scenes. It's making me angry how uncomfortable it was making me.
So in this one, Jason Segel is a recent widower who's trying to get back in the flow of being a psychiatrist while raising a daughter. and it's made by Bill Lawrence, who made Scrubs and Ted Lasso.
Okay, all right.
It is so good.
Does JD and Turk turn up at all?
I haven't seen them, but I mean, they haven't been in Ted Lasso either.
No, yeah, true. Okay,
but his wife, Krista Miller's in it.
Okay.
Who was in Scrubs and Drew Carey's show.
Okay, all right. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know exactly who that is. Burnett. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Time hasn't been kind.
Okay, no. So is it funny? Are you enjoying it? Is it a quick watch?
It's hilarious. It's so good. The humor of Scrubs and Ted Lasso with the drama of them.
Okay. Which, that's high praise because Ted Lasso is just incredible. That's one of the best shows.
I know. And we have...
it's an all-time show, to be honest.
2 weeks until the new season comes out.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Only 2 weeks? Oh, wow. But they don't drop all of them. They do week to week, I think, on that one.
Week to week.
And the thing is, I think I have to do it weekly because otherwise it's going to get spoiled. Everyone's going to spoil that shit. It's too popular not to watch it.
Every Friday night, we will sit down as a family and watch it. Although Kaylee wasn't around when we binged season 1 and 2, so...
She better get on it.
I know. She's like, I don't want to watch it. I'm like, you have to watch it.
It's so good. You don't have to like sports at all. You don't have to like soccer. It's just that's the least important part of it. Just about to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's like
side part of it. Yeah.
I think she doesn't want to see it because of the character named Keely, who Will jokingly called her that a couple times. So I think she's against it.
Gotcha. But she's amazing. She's a great character. Yeah. That's not like it's an insult or anything.
And they're dumb kids, so.
Yeah. The only other thing I have homework wise, because I've been playing video games is what I've been doing. Besides reading is as I told you about last time, we finished Dexter.
Yeah.
I think they did this to make up for how bad it ended, and basically this was the way it should have ended.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. It's pretty quick. It's only 10 episodes, but hour episodes each one, or whatever, 45 to an hour, something like that.
I just don't think I can do it.
It's good. It is. I like it. I wish I could talk you into it. It's pretty quick to get through, and it ends the way the original series should have ended. To be honest, okay. I'll leave it at that.
I might cave at some point and do it, but I'm struggling to want to.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think my next project will be Last of Us, although with Mandalorian coming out. But that's weekly, so I'll be easy to fit in, I guess. So, yeah, I'm super excited. I don't know. I haven't really done any spoilers or seen where we're going with season 3 of Mandalorian.
I've been avoiding it.
Yeah. So did they do the thing where they drop first 2 episodes, or we only got one? We're only getting one.
I think it's only one.
Okay.
That's how much I've been avoiding. I don't even know how many episodes.
See, yeah, same. So I'm looking. That'll be my. I'm hoping by the next time we talk, we'll be able to talk a little bit more in depth on Last of Us, and then we'll definitely go into. Hopefully, we'll both have watched Mandalorian at that point.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's all I got as far as homework. You got anything else?
I got some comics I read, but I'll hold off on those. But I will tell you that The Greatest Beer Run Ever was an amazing book.
Nice. That's awesome. And they're a good compliment to watching the movie. Is it one of those things where did it do the book justice? Did the movie do the book justice?
They exaggerated some of the stuff.
Okay. Which you have to for a movie. I get that. But
at the same time, like the whole Ted offensive where he's in Saigon, they don't do that justice.
Oh, really?
What he went through there, the Russell Crowe character, not in the book. Created for the movie.
Really? Well, I guess. Yeah, okay. All right, well.
What was so his friend that he was hoping he would see that was missing in action, when he went over there, he knew he was dead.
Oh, okay.
It was a situation where they were pinned down. His commanding officer got shot right next to the communication officer, and he jumped in front of both of them and took all the bullets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the other thing the movie doesn't show you, he's over there for like 4 months.
Whoa, I didn't know that. The movie makes you feel like he's over there like a week.
It took from the time he left to the time he got home was about 4 months. And it took 6 to 8 weeks just to get there on the boat. And then he was there for like a month because he was stuck in Saigon because he had no way out. The boat left him, and he ended up getting on a different boat, going to Seattle and flying home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about a life. This guy lived a life. What an interesting story.
Yeah.
Incredible. So yeah, that movie did capture you enough to want to go ahead and read the book. Wow. Okay,
yeah.
I'm about to get around to it as well.
So I think I talked it up so much that Madeline has to do a nonfiction book assignment, and that was one of the two books she grabbed off my shelf.
Excellent. Very nice.
I'm like, your teacher's going to hate me because you're taking a book about a beer run in for a...
But you know it's way more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's more than just that. And that's what I liked about the movie so much. It took such a simple premise, but it was so much deeper than that.
So the kids were doing something last weekend, and Aaron and I were home alone, and I'm like, we're watching this because it's amazing.
Yeah.
And like, she's watching, she's like, this is real? I'm like, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, see? Yeah, exactly. You're like, no way. And then all of a sudden it's like, it is. It's all real. That was a lie.
I said something about watching in front of the kids, and she's like, a beer run? I don't know if that's a great idea. I'm like, just watch it. It's
not. Yeah, it's like when you hear World's Greatest Beer, you're thinking probably like a Seth Rogen movie, some, dick and fart jokes. No, not that at all.
Super bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nope, not that by any means.
Yeah.
So... Excellent. That's so cool. She's going to do a book report on that. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Look at her. That's awesome. So,
all
right.
She took that and my book about the punk rock scene in the 90s in San Francisco, which Green Day and The Offspring.
Yeah. Which there's no kids that would understand that one. At least they'll have her. I would hope most kids in her generation heard of the Vietnam War. I hope so. At least hopefully they taught them that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So... And that only took like a week to read. So
excellent. So, all right. I think like I said, next time hopefully a little bit more Last of Us, and then kind of just go from there. All
right.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on our website, Nyrdcast.com. It's NYRDCAST. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube by searching @Nyrdcast.
The intro music is The Other Side by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, a Mad Dog remix made by Madeline Tierney. This week's featured song is Goldfish Memories by the Von Tramps.